Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for taking the time to be on our webinar this evening. I am very excited to be able to go over the new construction opportunities in Seguin with all of you. You're going to be hearing from myself, Vince Tomich, along with our San Antonio agent, Christina Dorier, who I will be introducing shortly. It's been a while since we've had a chance to secure such great multifamily properties, and we're going to go into detail about the market, the properties, and some of the demographics of Seguin. Really exciting part of Texas. And yeah, Christina's going to be able to jump into that a bit more. So let me introduce myself. So my name is Vince Tomich. I'm an advisor here at Marshall Reddick. And my primary role as an advisor is to learn as much as I can about each individual investor and help guide you through the process to achieve your investment goals. A little bit more about myself is I was born and raised here in Southern California. I have been in the real estate industry for over 5 years. I am an investment property owner myself and definitely plan on continuing to grow that, especially in the multifamily space. Prior to my role as an advisor, I was a mortgage lender for a number of years, and that's where I really learned the value of leveraging money. I realized that investing, especially in my market of Southern California, was very difficult. But when I was introduced the idea of investing, outside of my market, coupled with understanding financing, is what made the goal of mine to buy investment property very possible. And that is what I'm really happy to be able to do for some of you folks that are, feeling that same way. So that is my ultimate goal here at Marshall Reddick. It looks like we have a few familiar names and folks that have been to these webinars and live events, when we were doing those in the past. And it looks like we also have a lot of new names. So this is always a good opportunity for me to explain who Marshall Reddick is and what we do. So Marshall Reddick is a unique real estate firm that focuses on 3 services. We have our brokerage, our property management, and our private lending. So our real estate brokerage covers those folks that are looking to buy or sell their primary residence or their investment property. Our second service, property management, is, when I would say 99% of the folks that buy investment property are going to be looking for property management. We would handle everything for that owner. That includes, just some things to start leasing, marketing the property, placing the tenant, rent collection, rent disbursement, any kind of repair request, dealing with vacancies, right? So we are doing everything and anything that an owner would be normally required to do by owning that property. So that is what we would cover in our property management. And then our third service is private lending, which is a very unique service where we actually have 2 different types of clients. So we have borrowers and we have lenders. So our borrowers are typically people who are looking to maybe do a fix and flip on a home. Maybe those that have self-directed retirement accounts that are looking to leverage that money, right? They don't have enough money in that account to buy the property outright, so they need financing. You can't go to a conventional bank, so we can offer that solution. And then the other investor that we have in private financing is our lenders. So the same way that we're having a presentation this evening on buying real estate, we have the ability to have our investors invest in first position mortgages. So that is also another service of ours. So, my goal at the end of the day is to make the process of investing in real estate as seamless as possible by education and introducing our key players that, work with us day in and day out. So a little bit more about our markets. So we are located in 16 different markets across the country. We're going to be focusing our presentation on Seguin, Texas, which is, like I mentioned earlier, a city in between San Antonio and Austin, Texas. These are highlighted, some of these are all of the markets that we operate in. So you can take a look here. If there are questions about other markets in particular, this is something that I'm going to be doing a follow-up on, and we can go into more detail and go from there. So why have we chosen these markets? You know, we've taken time to vet out specific markets that we want to focus on. I think we can all agree that not every market across the U.S. is a good market to invest in. We have put together some key criteria that we feel support a strong investment market, and some of those you can see here. So strong rental demand, low vacancy rate is important. Economic diversity, right? So we want to have markets that are not relying on one employer. Housing affordability, something I touched on earlier. Living in Southern California, prices are a bit high, so it's a higher barrier of entry to get in. Landlord friendly, also really important for us. We want our landlords to be able to have control of their destiny with real estate. Strong education, it's good to have good schools. And then finally, and definitely not least, is professional property management. There's many small cities that may make sense for various reasons, numbers and so on, but they may have one or no property management there, and that can definitely put yourself in a tough spot. So these are some of the things we like to focus on. This is a really good, this is something that you're going to find on our website and all of the properties in San Antonio or the surrounding area. So this chart you're looking at reflects the appreciation trend along with the property class scale in this market. So we have an incredible ebook for those that have not seen that I can share with anyone that wants to go into more details of how property class is determined. It's on our website and I can send it to you after. But a major factor in the property class scale is based on the price. So you're going to see the price breakdown below for the San Antonio market. So as you can see, anything for a single family home is that first sliding scale. So anything in that 307,000 range to that 236 range would be considered A class. And then, 236 to 189 B class, and you can see that so on and so forth. A little bit of a different breakdown below, that's for multi-unit, and that's per unit. So, a $400,000 unit, each unit's 200. So you would see how that would also fit in that A class range there as well. So that is a good thing for us to kind of keep in mind when we're looking at property classes. Another important piece of data that I'd like to point out here is the appreciation trend year over year since 1995. You can see that on the right side of your screen. In the last 25 years, you will notice that you don't see any double-digit appreciation increases or any double-digit depreciation. So even amongst our toughest years in real estate, which is between 2008 to 2010, there was very little decline, as you can see there. In this market, which shows great stability. So I like to point that out, as not every market looks like this, and Texas in general has been an amazing performer over the last 25 years. Very steady Eddie. So something that I always like to point out there. Next, we are going to bring up Christina Dorier. So she's one of our top agents in San Antonio. She's going to be able to go over the new construction opportunities that we have in Texas in great detail. She's an awesome part of the team and is a great resource for us all things near San Antonio. So Christina, I'll let you take it away and have a introduction from here.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Vince. Thank you everybody for attending. Yeah, thank you everybody for attending this evening. My name is Christina Dorier. I am a Texas realtor. I lived in San Antonio all of my life, so I'm very familiar with all the different areas in San Antonio and the areas to buy in and the areas that I would not recommend to buy in. I've been in the real estate business since 1999. Started off as a loan officer, was a lender for 15 years, and then I transitioned to a realtor, which I love. I love working with numbers. I love working with clients and going over different property criteria. And I am married. My husband, he's in the U.S. Air Force, and we have 2 amazing kids, keep us very busy. And I have closed over 178 deals since 2017 and counting. So yeah, I'm very experienced, and not only extremely experienced, but I am local to San Antonio and very familiar with the areas in San Antonio to stay within. So let me go to the next slide. And this shows a picture of our brick and mortar office in San Antonio. We do have an office in San Antonio. It's located right in the middle, actually, near the medical center. So we can get to any part of the city really quickly since we're centered in the middle of San Antonio. And that's our team. We had our Christmas function, and then we had our Thanksgiving in our office last year. So those just a snapshot of the picture of our team, because we are fully staffed with property managers, leasing agents, as well as the tenant coordinators and our maintenance coordinator that helps do repairs and works with the contractors and everything like that. So that just gives you so you could see, face, for the, who, just the picture, so, who you're talking to. This gives you an idea of what we do. We are completely 100% turnkey, one-stop shop. We do sales, which is what I do. I'm the realtor that can help you identify, find your property, help you with the whole sales process, all the way from escrow to closing. And then after closing, we have our leasing team, which, our leasing agents in our office actually will take over from there and market your property to rent, procure a qualified tenant, and then after the tenant moves in, we manage your property. We will do all of that, set you up with your owner portal to log on so you can see your rental payments come in. They go directly into your checking account every month, and we deal with everything with the tenant. You never have to worry about dealing with the tenant. We help them with any repairs needed, any questions they have on making their payments. We are a full service real estate property management team. So we specialize in both single family as well as multifamily. So we're going to actually go into detail on multifamily with duplexes later on the slides here. So this shows you a map of San Antonio. San Antonio is a very big city. It's very big. It's comparable to, as far as the size, comparable to LA, how big and spread out it is. It's really big. This shows you like what we have all around different parts of the city. We do have Six Flags and SeaWorld. And then we also have the University of Texas in San Antonio, located in the northwest side. We have our famous downtown Riverwalk, where we get a lot of tourists every year. We have Fiesta every year except for this year, but we have Fiesta, which is a big party downtown, and it lasts for like 2 weeks, comparable to like New Orleans, Bourbon Street. It's a lot of fun. And we're also known as Military City because we have 4 military bases in San Antonio. So we have a lot of military families that come, they're relocated to San Antonio, and they stay here, and they're stationed from anywhere to 3 to 4 years at a time. So they're always looking for places to rent, not to buy, but to rent. And most of them want to rent either duplexes or homes. So we help a lot of tenants that are military, which is great because military are one of the best tenants to have. But we get a good mixture of different diverse employers. We're not just dependent off the military. We have so many different employers in San Antonio. That's what makes it a good market to invest in San Antonio, because of our diverse job market. It's great. It gives us more pool of tenants looking to buy or rent. I'm sorry. I'm going to go on to the next slide here. And this shows the Seguin. Now, Seguin is what we're going to present today. Seguin is located about only 30 minutes outside of San Antonio, but it's really right next door to San Antonio. And it's really close to New Braunfels. It's next door to New Braunfels. And it's actually a huge up-and-coming area. There's lots of employers in Seguin, a lot of factories and warehousing industry. So we get a lot of essential workers in Seguin. But this is a very good area to invest in because a lot of people that live there like to live there because it's very low crime. And there's a river that runs through Seguin called the Guadalupe River that goes to New Braunfels as well. So we get a lot of people that like to go to the river, to hang out there. It's a very nice place to live. And of course, a lot of the businesses that are out there, and there's more businesses and companies that keep going to Seguin and because the land's so affordable. So this right here, this gives you a snapshot of the top employers in Seguin. Caterpillar is one of the top employers. They're known for making the construction equipment that the construction workers use out on the roads and the highways for infrastructure and all over the country. Caterpillar makes these machines. So we have a lot of employers that live in Seguin or want to live in Seguin. Some of them commute. Some of them live in northeast of San Antonio and commute to work in Seguin, but they prefer to live in Seguin. There's just not many rentals right now in Seguin. So this is going to be a very high demand area. And then there's all these other manufacturing companies. There's also a lot of school teachers and staff members from the school. There's the Seguin Independent School District, the Guadalupe Medical Center, huge hospital. So we see a lot of medical professionals, school teachers, and warehouse workers. These warehouse workers actually make really good money. A lot of them average 50 to 60,000 a year, and a lot of them are in unions. So that makes it a lot of essential workers are, all of them. And then we have HEB, which is a huge our grocery supply store. They dominate Texas pretty much. We still have Costco and all that, but HEB is known for its variety and low prices, and it's huge. So we get a lot of employers that work at HEB that make very good income that also live in Seguin. So that gives you a good idea of what all the different employers there. And the cost of living and population growth. So Seguin has increased so fast since 2010. It's increased by 18% of population growth, and it keeps getting more people populating because of the jobs that are there, and more companies are moving there, more growth. So the city's population rise projections set at 40,000 by 2030 and by 50,000 by 2040. So that's a lot of people that are going to be moving to Seguin. It's good to get in early while the land is still cheap, while prices are still cheap, before it gets to where it's too high price. But right now it is up and coming. And with more than 7,500 homes on the horizon, these numbers may be attained much sooner. So the cost of living is at 3.8% lower than Texas average at 9.9% average of the US. So it's very affordable to live in Seguin. And this gives you a cost of living index. So we always try to, the medium right at the middle would be 100%. At 100% would be the total index. So we compare everything at 100. So Seguin, it's 90.1%. So it's going to be very affordable to live there compared to New Braunfels or Austin. Dallas is at 102.5%. So that gives you a good snapshot to show you how affordable it is to live in Seguin. And that's what drives the people. That's what makes people move here. So this gives you a map of the new subdivisions, brand new, not the older homes, not the established homes, but brand new subdivisions that are being built right now. They're a mixture of D.R. Horton homes, KB homes, Lennar. That gives you the color code to see. And in that circle, there's a circle, number 26, that circles around. That's where our duplex community is located at. And all around there, there's established homes already, and there's a lot of businesses around there. So it gives you an idea of how fast it's growing with the newer communities of single family homes being built. And another thing I want to point out, there's not many duplexes that are being built out here. We're one of the very few duplex communities in Seguin, and it makes it very affordable for people that can't afford to rent a house, because there's not many rental homes anyways in Seguin, but they want to live in a nice, contemporary looking place that's affordable and near their job. So I'm going to present the duplex community here. You're going to see some awesome pictures of the community, and I'll explain everything about the property. So it's the North King Street community that we're going to go over. I'm the listing agent for this community, along with my co-lister Josh Gutierrez, and we both have these properties listed. I've already sold 3 of these duplexes, and all of the 3 duplexes I recently sold, we leased out all units all right away, less than 30 days, and it went fast. So we have people calling right now from the signs that we have on this community asking when's the next one going to be available for them to rent. So the demand is extremely high and there's not much competition out there. So that's what makes us stand out compared to other areas like New Braunfels or San Antonio. And this shows you the living room. It's got high ceilings. It's got concrete stained flooring, granite countertops. It has 2-car garages. So the 2-car garages is not very common with duplexes because a lot of duplexes only have 1-car garage. So this makes me feel more like you're actually walking into a single family home versus a duplex. So that makes it stand out. So we're going to go through going over the builder background, and I'm going to provide information about the builder. I have worked with this builder for ever since I started working with Marshall Reddick since 2017 because they both love their community. This shows you on the left side a completed community in New Braunfels, which is right next door to Seguin. Seguin and New Braunfels are side by side. They're really close to each other. So this shows you it's not a very big community. This builder doesn't build huge communities. They build smaller neighborhoods. So, it's not like too much. And a lot of people like that. It's only, so many streets here. There's cul-de-sacs. Same thing on the right side in the Seguin. It's going to look similar to the left side after it's completed. It's only going to have like 4 or 5 streets. There's going to be cul-de-sacs and everything like that. So this builder is known to make really good product. Sorry about that. Let me go back in here. And the builder, again, I've been working with them since 2017, and they're known for their quality of product of duplexes. They make it for investors, so you're not having to have high maintenance. It comes with a 10-year builder warranty. So there's, a very, very low maintenance for you to worry about. They also provide full sod in the backyard and an irrigation sprinkler system, which not many builders do that for duplexes. So that makes it stand out as well. And there's zero escape front yards. It's very curb. It has a nice curb appeal. And ever since I sold these duplexes with this builder, we haven't had hardly any issues at all with any of these properties with our clients. They've been very happy with these duplexes. So that's what we have the experience with this builder. And, it's just good to know that you're working with the builder that we worked with before, that we trust and we value. So this gives you pictures of the inside of the duplex. And all the units are exactly the same colors, everything looks the same. So some people ask, are there different sizes for each unit? No, each unit is exactly the same. And as you walk in, there's a garage to your right. It's 2-car garage. It comes with a garage door opener. And then as you walk in, it has this beautiful stained concrete flooring, high ceilings. Each room comes with a ceiling fan. There's recessed lighting, which makes it very contemporary. It's got granite countertops in the kitchen, and then it comes with the appliances. So not many builders will provide the appliances for you. This one provides you with the stainless steel refrigerator. It has, all the refrigerators have ice makers in it. Stainless steel built-in microwave, and the flat range oven, stovetop, and it has a dishwasher. And these sinks in this kitchen is really deep. They're real deep stainless steel sinks, and it has the pull-out handle that becomes a sprayer. So this is a very good selling point. They're very, very easy to show potential tenants. They look very nice. This is the model unit in the community. So we have this model unit to show potential tenants for the ones that are almost going to be ready, so they could see what one looks like that's completed. So it's been very good to have this model unit. And this hallway, you can see the hallway goes down. It's all one story, which is very nice because I've seen other duplexes that are 2-story. They're very narrow. They don't have the high ceilings, and it feels like an apartment versus a house. This feels more like a house.
And Christina, just really quick, I wanted to just point out, I feel like a huge factor for investors is that stained concrete flooring, makes these units almost indestructible, right? Whether
Yes.
it's pests or just damaging flooring. I know flooring in a typical unit can be an expensive item for turnover. So having that stained concrete flooring from an investment standpoint, I know is what a lot of folks are seeing and recognizing as a way to get away from annual expenses. So yeah, nice. That's a good attribute for us.
So true. Thanks for pointing that out, Vince. That is so right, because a lot of the other clients that own investment properties that have carpet or even that laminate wood flooring, that laminate wood flooring can peel, it can crack, it can be very expensive to replace. Same thing with carpet. You almost always have to replace carpet in between tenants. So stained concrete flooring will save you a lot of money throughout the years because it's almost indestructible. And it's so easy for the tenants to clean. They can put a rug, if they want to in their bedrooms, but a lot of the tenants like the stained concrete flooring because it's, if people have allergies, it's very good, very easy to clean, very hard for the pets to mess up. So yeah, that's a really good point. And it keeps it cooler. In Texas, it's very hot, especially, Seguin, San Antonio area. It gets very, very hot. It's supposed to be like 105, 106 this weekend, which is crazy. But the concrete stained flooring keeps it cooler inside. It makes the AC more like, it feels cooler. And then there's ceiling fans in all the bedrooms and the living room. And there's extra insulation on the side that connects to the other duplex, so they don't hear the other tenants that easily because this builder goes above and beyond and adds extra insulation for that. So that we don't get any complaints like that compared to other duplexes that aren't from this builder where you could hear easily the tenants on the other side. But this shows on the left side the master bedroom. It's pretty large. I mean, that has a huge bed in there with the furniture, and you can see the master bedroom bathroom right there that has double vanity sink, granite countertops. Granite countertops is very hard to mess up either. You're gonna have low maintenance with that, and it'll last throughout the years. And it looks nice. You get higher rents for it. It looks contemporary. It's got a full-size walk-in shower, lots of cabinet space. It's very nice. So that shows you different angles of the master bedroom. And there's a back patio that they can walk out in the backyard from their master. There's also a side door in the living room that they can walk out to the backyard as well. But it's nice to have the back door from the master bedroom. That's a lot of people like that. It's a covered patio in the backyard, and it has a ceiling fan. So it's really nice, and they have nice sized yards. They're not too big, they're not too small. It's a perfect size yard that they get to enjoy that has full sod grass, and it comes with the sprinkler system already included. And another thing is I would like to mention that all the backyards have private fenced-in yards. Nobody's sharing a yard. So, it's privately fenced in yards, and all of them come with the sprinkler system. So it's really nice to have that. So this is showing you the numbers financials of the property. It's listed at $379,900. This is showing you with your typical 30% down payment, all the fixed expenses broken down as a monthly. So it shows your mortgage payment, taxes, insurance. Our monthly management fee is only at 7% of whatever the rent is. Most other property management companies charge a standard of 10%. We only charge 7%. There is an HOA, but the HOA fee broken down monthly is only $70 a month. The utilities you don't have to worry about. Landscaping you don't have to worry about because the tenant's responsible in paying their own utilities. They have to set it up under their name for the electric and the water bill. And that's also on their lease as well. And they have to maintain the backyard. It comes with a sprinkler system, so it's easy for them to turn that on or set a timer with it. And they just have to keep it mowed. And that's also on their lease as well. The front yard is maintained by the HOA, which is nice. So it shows you after all fixed expenses, you're cash flowing almost $500 a month. It's $486 a month, and that's just the first year. Each year, we tend to raise the rent as we renew the leases, usually by $50. So if they're paying $14.50 one year, the next year it'll go to $1,500. And the next year it'll go to $1,550. And it's not a big increase. It's not large enough to scare them or off, because it's more expensive for them to move. And apartments do it, and so do other landlords. They're used to rents raising a little bit each year, and each year your cash flow will get higher. So this is just your first year. So the next year your cash flow will be almost 550, and the next year 600, and on and on. And by the 5th and 10th year, it's going to be very high. 10th year will be easily 1,000 or more. And not including, your appreciation that you're going to have. It's going to be a lot. So you're going to get that cash flow that will continue increasing each year as we raise rents and the equity. So, and each unit is, I'm sorry, go ahead, Vince.
Yeah, I was just going to say one thing I also wanted to point out is you're going to see a lot of these numbers that can adjust. Like, for example, down payment and interest rate is going to be dependent on your individual setup. You have to remember we have to show something for a default number here. But if you wanted to put 25% down, that's a scenario. If you wanted to put 35% down or 50% down, that can also be a scenario. And then your interest rate can also be adjusted, depending on when you've gone through that pre-approval process, which is something that we can help you with our preferred lender, Reed Hazard at CMG Financial. So we can definitely get some of those numbers for you for your specific scenario, as I know some of you guys may have your own spreadsheets and starting to put some of this in. So just wanted to keep that in mind as well.
Oh, great point. Yeah, you could definitely change the rate. That's just the default average rate. If it's lower, you can change it on our financial calculator, and we'll change the payment for you. If you want to change the down payment, you want to put more or less, it'll change it for you. And also, just to be conservative, we also give variable expenses. So variable expenses are estimating like for feature maintenance, for vacancy, the leasing fee. The leasing fee is whenever we have to find a tenant for you. It's a one-time fee of half the rent, and that's only you only pay that one time per tenant when we find a tenant. So if the tenant lives there for 8 years, you're only going to have that 50%, half the rent paid one time until the tenant moves out and we have to find another tenant. But it's putting all the variable expenses. So if you have maintenance and repairs and a vacancy and you have to have to find a tenant, that's showing you after all worst case scenario, you're going to end up a little bit in the positive, around $37 a month. But with normally each month, you're going to see that where it's going to be like almost $500 a month. That's just normal, already with a tenant in place with no maintenance to worry about, all that. This is just giving you the variable, and it shows you the 15-year ROI at 17.75%. So this is a very high rate, which is good. We want it to be high, but this is not projecting the rents going up. This is a 15-year projection based off the rent staying the same for all 15 years. So keep in mind the rates for the rents, they will go up each year as we increase rent. So that ROI will actually be a lot higher. That's just conservative amount. And each unit is 1,372 square feet. And they all have 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, 2-car garages, 1 story. It's really, really nice. Very, easy to show, and they rent out super fast in Seguin because, again, there's not much competition in Seguin. We're the very few duplex communities. There's only one other one I can think about, but they're small. I mean, and they only have like 4 duplexes and they're all rented out. So this is one of the few duplex communities that's this nice and brand new, that's affordable. That's very affordable. So that's why we are getting a lot of calls. The demand's very high. And the tenants are mostly essential workers. A lot of them have, jobs with no problem. All of them have been paying rent, no problem. Now this goes into our property management. We do have, of course, full staff property management that we can help you manage your property, find the tenant for you. There is no lease renewal fee. We don't charge to renew the lease. Other companies do. To find a tenant, it's only half the rent. And that's a one time to find a qualified tenant. We pre-screen before we show your property. We pre-screen people, make sure they're qualified over the phone. And once they are interested and they apply, we pull their credit. We don't cut corners. We make sure that they are qualified. They have to have a credit score 600 on up. We verify their income, and then we go above and beyond getting their pay stubs. We call their employer and make sure they're still working, and they have to make 3 times the rent. So we have to make sure they make 3 times the rent, and we check. We pull an eviction report. We make sure they don't have any past evictions, and we check their rental history and make sure that they don't have any broken leases. So we're going to put a qualified tenant that has good payment history into your property. And it shows you how affordable we are compared to other property management companies. We don't charge, again, no lease renewal fee. We only charge half the rent to find a qualified tenant. Some companies charge full rent, or some do 75%. We only charge half. There's no setup fee. There's no maintenance coordination fee. There's no eviction fee. A lot of other companies charge that. We don't. We're doing this as a service because we make money on the sales, not the property management. So this is a service to our clients. And it shows you for duplexes, single family homes, it's only 7%. It goes down to 6% as you buy commercial properties that are 5+ units. But again, traditionally, most property management companies charge 10% and we only charge 7%. So this slide says, what does property management do? We do a lot. So property management, we do, so after, say, a tenant moves out, our maintenance coordinator goes out to the property and does a move out inspection. Oh, and before the tenant moves in, we do a move-in inspection report. We take tons of pictures of the property, every single room, all the appliances, everything, front and outside of the property, and we do a move-in inspection report. So we have that documented, what it looked like before the tenant moves in, and then we document it when the tenant moves out. So we have a move-out inspection report. And if there's anything that the tenant caused damage to, we take it out of their security deposit. So we do that very well. Most of the tenants we find have a good rental history and make their payments on time, have good credit. Most of the time they are keeping the property in good shape. So we also get your property fixed up very quickly. So we turn it pretty fast. So after the tenant moves out, our maintenance coordinator does the move out report, and then they'll let you know what needs to be fixed. Most of the time a cleaning has to be done, which is only usually $250 for a whole cleaning. And then if anything needs to be fixed, like any window blinds need to be replaced or anything like that. And then of course we do a rental analysis. We check what the rents are have increased, and we'll increase the rents. And we advertise the property all over the websites. We put it on our MLS, realtor.com, Zillow, everything. We market it with professional pictures. We do a video tour, and we definitely market it to everybody. So it gets shown in a lot of exposure. And of course, we find qualified applicants for you. We screen these applicants. We have them sign the lease. We collect the rent. We provide you with your monthly and year-end statement. So for your taxes and any repairs, you also have the year-end statement for any of that. So we do also conduct periodic inspections. So, I mean, that we do everything. All you have to worry about is collecting your rental income. And this gives you a map of all of the properties we manage in San Antonio and our surrounding areas. Our surrounding areas being New Braunfels, and then Seguin, which is right there, right below New Braunfels. And then we also manage properties in Austin. That's about an hour away from San Antonio. So it's kind of, you can't see it on the map here, but it is, we do manage properties in Austin as well. But we have proven success in leasing these units out less than 30 days. We have multiple leasing agents that work with us and show the property, not just our leasing agents, we have outside agents with other companies like Century 21, Remax, that also show their property to their clients as well. So we make sure it gets all the exposure it needs and they get leased out really fast to a qualified tenant, which is very important. So, you know, that just shows you that we don't cut corners and we make sure that we lease it out to qualified tenant that tends to stay for quite a while, you know, tends to stay for the duration usually of, if they have kids, they tend to stay with the kids, you know, how long they're in school and stuff like that. But go ahead, Vince, I'll go ahead and have you, Vince, take it over from here.
Yeah, absolutely. So, thank you so much for going into that detail, Christina. That's awesome. Gives us a really good insight of what these properties look like and what to expect. So what to expect next? Great question. Before we get into that, I do want to go over a couple questions that we had come in. Keep in mind, we're not going to be able to go into all of them, and I am going to be setting up calls after to go into more specifics. But I did get to a few specific questions that I feel like others might have, others might have the same question. So number one, Christina, if you can help me with this, is what is included in the 10-year builder warranty?
Ooh, great question. Okay, so what's included in the 10-year builder warranty? I can't go to every detail of the warranty because it's a huge brochure with a lot of different aspects of that. But the main common thing is it comes with where it will protect all the appliances, bumper to pumper, everything in the property for a whole year. So if anything breaks down that first year, it's covered. The builder warranty covers it, whether they have to repair a fridge, fix a toilet leak, or replace an AC or anything like that, it's covered. The AC does come with a 10-year warranty. So that's a good 10 years at the AC. You don't have to worry about that. The roof has a 25-year warranty, which is a long time, 25 years for the roof. But there's a lot more that covers like electrical, plumbing, but we have the builder warranty details to provide to you. And when we start, Vince starts making the calls, we could set up consultations and help answer that into more detail with you.
Awesome. Thank you for going into that. A couple more for you. What does the HOA cover?
Yeah, another great question. So the HOA covers the common areas of the community. It covers the cleaning, if there's any trash, the maintenance of the common areas, the lighting at night. Whenever it gets dark, the lights at night turn on. There's a lot of lights in this community for the street, so it's not dark. It's very secured. And then it covers the front yard maintenance of all the front yards. And it also, covers to pay the HOA staff. That's a company, the property management HOA company that goes out there to do they go out there weekly to do drive-bys in the property to make sure that people are leaving their trash cans out when it's not trash day, to make sure they're not parking their cars on the yards, to make sure they're maintaining it. If there's anything that looks weird or that's against the HOA restrictions, they'll send a notice to us and we will manage that for you. We'll reach out to the tenants and make sure they get that corrected. But great question.
Great. Thank you for that. Final question for you is, how long will it take for my units to rent? So just in your typical experience with these particular units, maybe you can dive into that a little bit.
Yeah, most of them have been 12 days. So in this actual community, we have, like I said, I sold 3 of these already in this exact community, and all of the units all went under 30 days. They all leased out less than 30 days. Nothing went past 30 days. So it's going to be well before your first mortgage payment. But yeah, it's a great, it's just such a high demand. But we had one lease out in 3 days. And again, but the average is about 12 to 15 days average. But we have proven success with all the units, and we're still having people calling from our signs right now saying, when is one going to be available? We want to rent one. And our leasing agents are keeping those contacts right now. But anytime they list it, they're getting a lot of calls. Just lots of calls. So yeah, definitely less than 30 days.
Awesome. Yeah, it's great to hear. Another side note, I know that that's important, is we do have the ability, once we've achieved a certificate of occupancy, which basically is documentation from the county that says that this unit is habitable by people. We are then able to market the specific property address online and get it rented, even if you are in escrow. So that's a huge advantage as opposed to a traditional type sale where you actually have to close, be in your name before property management even has that opportunity. Keep in mind that is when that certificate of occupancy is available. Although, like what Christina was saying, being that we have the signs in a pool of interest, we are able to get approved applicants ahead of time. And we just have a great head start on that. And that's thanks to our relationship with that builder. So thank you for answering those questions, Christina. That's super helpful. We're going to go into our next slide. We're wrapping up here, about 5 more minutes, guys. So tomorrow I'm going to be reaching out to everybody for consultation calls. These calls can, be as long or as short as you want, depending on your level of interest. The goal would be to be able to go over the who, what, when, where, and how regarding, the investment property purchase process. We also have the opportunity to go over, specific questions that you have that we maybe didn't get to, or even set up another conference call where it's us 3 and Christina, right? So we can, whatever is the most effective for you. And if tomorrow's not a good time and I reach out and, send you an email and you want to reply back and set something up, I'm more than happy to do that. So I want to be a resource for you guys to help vet these particular properties, as well as just understand a little bit more if it's long-term. If you're not buying for another 6 to 12 months, let's get the things in place to get that process rolling. As sometimes you do have to get things in order, even if now is not the exact time. So that's what you can expect from me, is to go over this, what you see here on the screen. And I will be doing some follow-up tomorrow for all of you that have attended. I want to thank you guys for attending. This is my contact information here for any of you, those that have questions. I'm more than happy to get you connected with Christina if we have direct questions. But again, want to thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much, Christina, for giving us all this helpful information about Seguin. We're really excited about these properties, and we hope to be able to help you folks out when the time is right. So thank you again for attending tonight, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good evening.